I'm going to share with you with a quick sharing. It's not going to be more than 15 minutes or 20 minutes, I think, because I'm just going to share with you the pattern of the questions that are going to be provided to you whenever it goes for the final exam. Okay, and today I'm going to share with you, or I'm going to refresh your informations in your minds. Okay, regarding the zakat calculations. Okay, hold on. Oh. Okay, talking about zakat. Okay, zakat are commonly being estimated by a few methods, which can be named as a working capital method and asset growth method and profit method. Okay, based on these sessions, only these two methods common. This is a very common practice. Okay, common practice. Only these two methods. Okay, we are going to talk, and you need to understand for whatever method that you are going to use to calculate zakat after this, the amount of a zakat payable should be the same. Either you want to use a working capital method or asset growth method. So, in this set of questions, so actually you are going to be given some sort of balance sheet informations. So you are going to be provided information for cash as banks, receivable amount, how much, marketable security, how much, inventory, how much, and plant and equipment, how much. Okay, that information is represented for asset. Okay, and you need to extract. You need to extract from there which part will be considered as a current asset and which part will not be considered as a non-current asset. And same goes to the liabilities and equities also. You need to identify which one is current liabilities and non-current liabilities. And this one also you need to identify a current asset and non-current asset. Okay. And same goes to the shareholders' equity. You need to understand how much belong to Muslim shareholders, because you cannot multiply with the paid-up capital, with the total paid-up capital that have been put in the companies, because some of them has been subscribed or some of them has been paid by the non-Muslim shareholders, and it is not fair in order to include them to be counted as a zakat payable. And you need to minus how much you are going to have for Muslim shareholders equity in your companies. Okay, that's the few things that are really important to be realized before you are making some adjustment in your calculation part. And you are going to be given some sort of how much of the bad debts they are not collected from that particular accounting period, and you need to minus also this one, and you are going to be given some information about the total marketable securities for the current year accounting period, and you also be given with some information about inventories, short-term loans, tax payable, and the amount of the share price for ordinary share and preferred share or premium shares. Okay, and you are going to be required to to prepare the zakat amount based on these two methods. Okay, and this is an example of the question, and this is the example of the answer that I have prepared for this purpose. Okay, let's say we are going to talk on, we are going to refer on the working capital method first. In order to have a working capital method, you always need to have these particular informations clearly. Okay, what you need to put under the current asset is normally you need to have a cash at banks and receivable amounts and prepayments amounts and marketable securities how much, and inventories how much. And you need to have some adjustment how much you need to deduct for uh, receivable amount, and how much you need to add for the marketable securities, and how much you need to minus with the raw materials and work in progress, and same goes to the inventories. And after you got this particular amount of adjustment, you need to minus with the net current asset in order to get an adjusted current asset. Okay, so this one will be minus with this one, and then you need to go for the current liabilities part. And in this section, you need to know how much with the trade liabilities and short-term loans. And if you have long-term loans, you need to exclude them. Okay, you need to exclude them. Sometimes the question is going to provide the information regarding the long-term loans, but this information is just going to be make you some testing in terms of your understanding, since you are talking about the current liabilities portions. So you cannot take any information that reflect to the long-term loans. Okay, so based on this information, you are going to have deduction from for short-term loans and tax payable also, and then you are going to have tax uh, adjusted current liabilities. Okay, this thing you are going to have adjusted current liabilities, and you are going to plus this one. And for zakat itself, whenever you are going to have an adjusted current asset and adjusted current liabilities, whatever you need to do is you just need to minus them, and you are going to get a zakat aggregate amount. This will be considered as an aggregate amount of zakat payable. Okay, this is the aggregate amount of a zakat payable, and you are going to multiply by a zakat rate, which is at 2.5%, and you are going to get a zakat amount of 28,573 ringgit. And that amount will be estimated based on the working capital method. And in order to check whether your zakat payable are accurate or not, you can double check with the asset growth method. In order to have an asset growth method, this is the information that you need to have: how much the long-term equities, and whether you need to add the long-term liabilities and minus with the non-current asset. And this is the adjustment. This is the start of the adjustment. First, you need to know about the shareholders' equity, how much, and long-term adjusted long-term liabilities and adjusted non-current asset, how much. And once you have these informations, you are going to have this one going to be add with the adjusted long-term liabilities with the shareholder equity, and then you are going to get this one. And then you need to minus with the non-current asset in order to get a net adjusted equity amounts. Okay, and before you, oh no, we still didn't get a net adjusted equity amount. We need to minus with the receivable amounts, bad debts, and securities amounts, marketable securities, how much that we need to add, and raw material, how much we need to minus, work in progress, how much, and inventories, how much, and so on. Okay, and then when you have this, you just need to minus with the zakat. You just need to minus. This will be considered as a amount of uh, adjusted equity. Okay, this amount, and this amount is the adjustment. Okay, adjustment of the equity, and you are going to have an aggregate equity amounts. Okay, and you just need to multiply with the 2.5%, and then you are going to get to 28,573 ringgit. Okay, basically this is just the simple illustration that I'm just going to share with you to give you some ideas on. Oh my god, I forgot to record my screen just now. Let me record this. Okay, so basically this is just a basic information that you need to have in order to prepare a zakat payable amount based on these two methods. Okay, I'm repeat. Whenever you are going to be required to prepare a zakat payable amount, you always need to concern about working capital method and zakat asset growth method. And for working capital method and asset growth method, the amount of the zakat payable amount should be the same, unless there is a mistake in terms of a zakat calculation part. And most probably you are going to be given with this kind of information, which is some information that reflect to asset, and some information that reflect to liabilities, and some information that reflect to the equities of the for the companies. And you also will be given some informations on what kind of the adjustment that you need to have in order to prepare your adjustment calculations. And from here, you can see this is just a simple illustration. I will give you this file if you want, so that you just can make it as your reference and just try to do on your own after this. And please make sure you are going to have a same amount of zakat payable for both method used in order to calculate zakat. Okay, as I mentioned just now, this is just a quick sharing. So we actually just end up our class since last week. So my intention for this session is just to give you some basic information. Even it is a basic information, but it's really important to you so that you can see how this method can be applied in your final exam questions. Okay. And this is not the real questions that I'm going to put in your final exam. This is just some sort of practice that you can have before you go for your final exam, whenever you want to prepare yourself for zakat calculation parts. Okay, if you want this file, I will give it to you this file after this, and inshallah, you will have guidance on how zakat will be achieved based on working capital and asset growth method. Okay. So I started my session just now. So you can very quickly. And inshallah, before I end my sessions, I want to ask you about the written report. Is it everyone have complete your written report?
Yes, we put yes.
Okay. So inshallah, I will check on it today, and I will put for any improvement needed in the correction file. And for those who just have more than 12%, 12% is sometimes quite acceptable, but it's strongly recommended to have some further adjustment in order to get a good marks in your written reports. Okay, so do you need this file so that I can just pass to your class rep after this?
Doktor.
Tak perlu Tak nak?
Nak.
Nah, okay. I will pass to Faris, and Faris akan share dengan all of you. Hello. Alright.
Doktor.
Okay, thank you, and Alhamdulillah. So you don't have to worry about your final exam. Try your best, and please bear in mind, do not ever copy and paste with your final exam, because I'm strictly screen your answer script if I turn it in. And please, okay, I'm more appreciate your answer and your efforts, regardless how accurate you are, they are actually. Okay, so Alhamdulillah, and I just end up my session just now, and we are going to meet again from time to time. And you can always refer to me by a personal WhatsApp me or by call me. It's much better. It's much better if you want. Hello, I'm not sure. I think my internet just being turned off right now.
Steady.
I'm going to pass this file to Faris, and Faris going to share this file to both group, Tuesday group and Thursday group. Okay. So with that, I just end up our class with Tasbih Kafarah and Surah Al-As. Inshallah, I will pass this file to Faris, and I will provide your similarities report as soon as possible, and will try to help you as much as I can. Okay, and with that, take care, and take care of family, take care yourself also, and please always, you know, we are living in new norms now, so I'm also try to make it use on that. And please, the most important part is we cannot know, and we are not sure whether we have chance to meet again after this, but we try our best to take care ourselves from this deadly pandemic virus. And with that, assalamu alaikum.
Waalaikumsalam. Thank you, Doktor. Thank you, Doktor.